Mission 3, Ice and Rain. Welcome to Cologne Hauptbahnhof. You're assigned an ICE 12 service operating to Aachen Hauptbahnhof. Open the doors to commence boarding. So hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome to Startup Games Train Simulator 2. Back in the ICE 3M again, taking the high-speed train between Cologne and Aachen, and as you can see, the weather has certainly not held up since last time, so looking a bit of a damp squib today. So jump into the cab, we'll open the doors, just allow passengers to board, so left-hand sides. We shall set up AFB, so we'll set that to manual control. Set the handle to the speed limit, which is at 60 kilometers an hour. We'll allow passengers to board the train, passing at 1600. And while we wait, let's also set the wiper to lasting, because, well, without it, window visibility not looking too great today. Right, let's close the doors. Let's keep an eye out on the signals, since at the moment they're currently red. As soon as they turn green, we should then be ready to depart. Perfect. Release the brakes. And the throttle, since we're using AFB, just push that to full. As you can imagine right now, in terms of wheel traction, in terms of wheel slip, with the weather being quite as bad as it is right now, expect a little bit of slippage. Fortunately, because we are using AFB, and we've got that managing our systems for us, you can see it is jumping around on the power usage there, so it is manually adjusting the power outputs in order to mitigate any wheel slip automatically. So one of the benefits of using AFB, one of the benefits of using automatic mode in the train, is that it will manage your speed, it will manage your acceleration. In the case of wet weather right now, it will do everything for us, well, hands-free, so I'm not complaining. It's a very fun little train, this ICE. So, running an express service right now to Aachen. Go via Horum, we'll go via Duren, and via all the stations towards the end of the line. About 100 metres, we go up to 80 kilometers an hour, so just wait for the rear of our train to pass the speed limit change. As soon as it does that, let's then increase the AFB to 80 kilometers an hour. Should be quite interesting to see how the rain droplets actually spread through the window as we continue our service. I mean, in the end, the windows on this train do go right up to the roof, and so at 250 kilometers an hour, the rain droplets do move depending on the speed, and therefore it definitely will play some effects. There's a yellow aspect signal about half a kilometre away from us, so we'll slow the train back down to 60 kilometers an hour again, which is a slow enough speed that allows us to manage our braking in the off chance we have a red aspect and therefore need to come to a halt. Presumably that means there'll be a service in front of us coming up, so we're going to have a quick look at the map for that one. Underneath the underpass, rain does stop momentarily. Right, set the map, and let's see what's going on in front of us. So that station's clear, that signal just turned yellow. And there's a train currently heading the same direction as us, so presumably a bit further down the line when we split between the high speed and slow tracks, and that'll move out the way for us, and therefore we can then push up to 250 and run at full speed towards the end of the line. Yeah, so speed limit now up to 140, 160 in just under a kilometre. Pushing up now to about 100, so we'll catch up with the service in front of us. It's really a case of, again, monitoring the distance, monitoring our speed, and monitoring the signals. So, the benefit of the ICE 3M, I'm not 100% sure if it's actually in front of me or not. The ICE trains do have in-cab signalling, especially for high speed, and therefore you can use it to monitor the track ahead of you. I am using the on-screen UI for my signalling, so I am cheating a little bit there. These trains do feature on in-cab signalling, and that is a system that train drivers will be using, especially at high speeds. About a kilometre and a half, we push up to the maximum speed of this line, which is 250 kilometres an hour. Quick look ahead of us. Train has now got some distance. It's going up to its full speed now, which is 110 kilometres an hour. 120 kilometres an hour even. So at this point, we'll probably push up the extra 20. Let's use this now as an opportunity to stretch train's legs a little bit and start catching up with the train in front. As soon as it clears the track, as soon as it's green the rest of the way, it'll then be full throttle, full power, and up to 250. As well, there are two service patterns when it comes to services here. You have trains that stop in the first section of track and then make a stop at, I believe this is that Duran or is the next one Duran? One of these are, but basically trains will stop at all stations before stopping here and then run express the rest of the way to Aachen. Or you have trains that run express to that station and stop at all the latter stations instead, and you have a few services that stop at every station. It kind of splits out the pattern, splits out the stopping services, and enables trains to run more efficiently and run faster as well. So there are different service patterns, which also brings me to thinking we're going to wait for that train in front of us to pull over to a siding station and passing loop, and therefore that also allows us to benefit with high speed. We'll increase our throttle now to the line speed of 250. Again, just slowly monitor track ahead of us. There it is now. Yeah, so it's just a case of monitoring the track ahead of us now. There's plenty amount of distance between us. Therefore we can now increase our speed to 250. Should be rather good. Talking about the rain droplets, you can see they're already now, well, speeding up to the roof there. So another 75 kilometers an hour to go. I love this train, I love these scenarios. I just love going high speed. As I've said on a couple of occasions, the fastest train we've got in the UK right now is the Southeastern HS1 service that uses the Eurostar tracks to France, and therefore the signalling on that line is based on the French signalling, and therefore trains can operate at high speeds. The fastest train that we've got on UK signalling is the, well, we've got two. You've got the HSTs, the Class 390 Pendolinos, the Class 91s, and the 800s and 395s, and all the other UK high-speed trains. We call them high speeds. They go at 125 miles per hour, which is about 180 kilometers. So we call them high speed, but in reality, compared to other services, they don't particularly go fast at all. I'm looking at the top right corner, you can see the meters there counting down towards the next signal. It's just shooting down 4 kilometers down to 100 again. Yellow signal again, so we will turn back down to about 100 kilometers at this stage. And just in case the next signal afterwards is red, which in this case, kilometers to go at this speed will be pretty much on top of us. For the red signal to come directly after. We have now caught up to in front of us, just kind of a better perspective. It's green again. Green again? Oh, does it mean it's moved out of the way now? Ah, here we go. So now they've pulled into the station, they pulled into the other platform. Finally, get an opportunity to overtake. So, push it back to 250. Got to be very exact with the AFB there. Push up to 250. At this stage, it's now home free between our current location and Aachen. So keep an eye out on the right hand side for the train. 1 kilometre to go now until we reach Cologne. It is. And there it goes. So, this is the train will pass behind. It's now closing its doors. As soon as it's cleared the green signal, we're going to depart to the station. I've driven 160 kilometres in the 406 now. Nice to get the extra reward. Go by location Düren, which will be the next station. So yeah, that is Düren. Another 18 kilometers to go, so not too far away, especially at this speed. Slowly approaching 250 kilometers an hour now, currently passing through 230. You can see that acceleration has certainly been cut back in the rain when compared to normal dry running. Again, that just comes down to the brand new adhesion simulation that Delta Game Trains World 2 includes. And that is a rather fine job actually making me feel like driving these trains for real. The original train sim mods, they did have some basic wheel slip adhesion simulation, but this certainly does take it to the next level, especially in the Bakerloo Line when it uses the two modes of engine acceleration. So you have phase 1, you have phase 2. For this, especially with AFB in action, it's that small adjustments in power that really keeps the speed going. .250, full speed ahead, 13 kilometers now to Düren. And then soon afterwards we'll have to start slowing down again as this line is not so straight, and therefore, especially in this section, we'll be down towards the limitators again. I must say, compared to flying an aeroplane, either real life Microsoft Flight Simulator, there's just something rather relaxing about driving a train, especially in the rain. I mean, I do railway volunteering, as you guys probably know by now. So, well, I'm not a train driver yet. I do start my training in a couple of weeks. I do some shunting work in around the yards. So, I have been behind the controls. I have done a bit of driving myself. And I don't know, there is just something relaxing about being at the front, stick the throttle up, no steering required, no real prior planning ahead to put out. It's just throttle up, your train is gone. I see service to our left. You can just see on the side train edge, the way the window, right on the windows streak down. So we departed from Frankfurt. We are travelling to Brussels, so we at Cologne, Aachen, Liège, Gulman, I can't say, Brussels, Nord, and then Brussels, Midi. Yeah, I can't do French place names. So yeah, we've got a fair few stations ahead of us on this service. As soon as we reach the border into Belgium, what we'll then do is switch between the different power outputs. Different railways. So you've got top here, we've got German, Deutsche Bahn and OBB, which is the Austrian railways. You've got SBB for the Netherlands. You've got SBB is for Belgium, NS is for the Netherlands, and SNCB and SNCF are the high-speed French lines. So you see you've got different power outputs, different voltages, and all of that will come into play. Drop down to 200 kilometers an hour now to our next bit, so we'll lower the speed now. 4 kilometers to Düren, so presumably start preparing for what's going ahead of us, shall we? Let's have a look. Pass through the station, start to slow down slightly. And really, it's just monitor what's ahead of us. Down to 80 and then 100.5. We might use a bit of train brake if we need to have to slow down, which I think we might do. This wet track's certainly not helping with the slowdown. Pass through 140. We've got wheel slip now, so we'll come off the train brake. Reset the throttle, allow the train to slow down. Yeah, that looks alright, okay. Points, okay, so it makes sense that we have to slow down to 60 now. Come away from that screen. Train to our left is currently held at a red signal. And presumably as soon as we pass, they can then use the set of points in front of it to merge onto our track and then continue the rest of their journey. A bit of a fall from grace that from the super high speed of the German network. Now running at a more average pace. Going through the middle platform, so we're not going to stop here. There we go, our 8-car train crawls through Düren. Go by location at Stollberg, so that'll be the next major station interchange that comes up on the line. And after that, there'll be a straight line path to Aachen, so down to 60 now, 50 metres to go. Use set of points, push back to the high-speed line. And then there you go, back up to 160 as soon as the rear of the train passes the points. We won't be going at high speed for much more now this service. Got this long straight here, which allows us to go up to speed, but then very soon after, things start to slow down as we go through the more twisted, bendy tracks towards Aachen. Reset the throttle there. There we go. Over halfway to our destination, driving for about 20 minutes now. The scenario length is about 30 minutes for this one, so ice and rain, just 30 minutes from one side to the other. Tomorrow, our next scenario will then be back in the town at 2. That will take about an hour to complete, so definitely a longer one, that's for sure. And then finally, we'll have a fifth mission. That one takes about 30 minutes to complete, and so with that, we'll then come to the end of our Train Simulator 2 scenarios. Again, I'm not so sure if I'll be doing the American ones, because as much as I'd like to, because they are a part of Train Simulator 2 and a part of the scenarios mix, the Sandpatch grade. In my mind, it's still CSX Heavy, or it's still the original scenario, but no. Sandpatch grade is now known as, and while it is a part of the scenarios, I don't quite have 2 hours in a day to actually do them all, and so, again, it's one of those that I'll probably do them at some point in the future, but certainly not immediately, especially right now with Microsoft Flight Simulator taking quite a main front stage on this channel. So really down to finding the time for it. Putting it all together. Train to our left. slowly crawling back to 160 again, currently at 159. And as soon as we reach Stollberg, if I recall correctly, it's down to about 120 kilometers an hour for the latter bit of the journey. This makes quite an interesting, almost like an ASMR this. You've got the train motor, you've got the click from the wiper going left and right, you've got the raindrops in the window. I could just be silent for the next 20 minutes and let the sim do all the work. And actually that's what I said about 10 minutes ago. There's something about driving trains, especially in the rain, that I find really relaxing. I'm not so much into ASMR, but I do enjoy a bit of white noise myself, and so I think it's just having that mundane nothingness as you drive your train along that, I don't know, it's there, it's a noise. So it's going to be nice to relax a little bit as well before taking my 747 jumbo jet halfway around the world while it loses control over some unknown place. It's been a really amazing couple of weeks on this channel. The amount of support I've seen both on the train sim and flight sim side of things has been, for me, it's been groundbreaking. I can't thank you enough how much support has meant to me. A month ago, I would never have imagined where things would be right now. 1 month later, who knows where it can go to. We definitely hit the end of our peak period, so we've now hit the maximum viewership and growth and all that. And therefore at this stage it's just a case of trying to maintain that. Keep uploading videos, keep doing stuff that people are interested in, and hopefully I'll be able to run things as they are, just that little bit longer. To 120 in about 2 kilometres, so run a little bit longer, just past Really Bandon Station. That's 120 now. See, I just don't understand just the speed of this train. With 3 kilometres away, next thing you know it, you're right on top of it. There's a little bit of train brake to help to slow down. There you go. To the throttle. And another 2 kilometres down to 110. Go through a bird camera, so let's stick ourselves in the tree. There we go. This is our train from the point of view of a bird nesting in this tree. Down to 110 shortly. It does increase 140 in a kilometre. I'm not sure if we'll be accelerating to it, because very shortly after I'm supposed to go back down again. But we'll monitor the speed limit changes and see how that works. So stop at location Aachen Hauptbahnhof. We arrive at 16:35, so we've got about 9 minutes to go. Speeding up to 140. Looks like it will be stable for a short period, so we shall increase our speed. Tunnels, back and dry again for a few seconds. In for the second tunnel. I can't use the external third person camera because tunnels do limit you in Train Sim World. Which I guess makes sense. Not really too much to look at on the outside when you're inside a tunnel. Down to 120. Three kilometers to go now. Therefore, trying to start focusing on our train and bring it to a stop. Hundreds. imagine straight after down to like 80 or 70, there we go. Potentially at this point, might even take train into manual control. So we'll turn off AFB. We'll enter the viaduct outside the station. And we'll bring it the rest of the way in ourselves. Let's do that. So throttle set to off. AFB will reset. Turn off AFB. Down to 40. And a half 5 minutes early as well. Seems to be doing alright for our timetable at the moment. I thought it would be a little bit later than that, but no. 16:35, we're coming in at 16:30. Good finish, I'm getting my pay rise at the end of the day. Alright, next signal's red. We stop about 200 metres in front of the signal. Let's enter the Gothic architecture here at Aachen. Down to about 15 kilometres an hour. Just slow amount of braking. There we go. 4 brakes now. And there we have it. Doors open lefts. Passengers now make their change. And very shortly after, we'll close the doors and see how we did for this scenario. But overall, not one for me to complain about. That was a more than pleasant drive. Very much enjoyed that in the rain as well. And yeah, we'll see how that goes at the end. So, are these windows? No, they're not. They're just empty bits of girder. So, you've got a roof at Aachen, but it doesn't do much other than, well, nothing basically. Maybe at one point they can upgrade these stations, include glass within the roof. Yeah, you can tell there's no glass here, it's just an open air station. We're going to have to wait until 16:35, so about 2 minutes of waiting at this point. Although, I won't make you wait, I'll make a jump cut, and I'll see you when the train is ready to, well, the train's ready to depart, in our case, when we're ready to end the scenario. There we go. 30 seconds to go now. And very nearly we'll be able to depart. In terms of visibility as well, there's not much you can look at here. I was talking about in the last video how grand all the infrastructure is, and you've got a cathedral over there, just hidden by the fog. It is pretty, but not in this weather. Jump into the cab. Let's go to close the doors. Thank you for completing this run. Let's see how it performed. Well, that was an interesting door sounding effects there with the echo. Not what I was expecting. Right, let's wait for these screens to pop up and let's have a look. Overall, not too bad. Came in nice and early into Aachen, which is always good. Level 24 on the character, level 8 on Schnellfahrstrecke, level 6 on the ICE, and overall, that took us to full 36 minutes. 69.9 kilometers driven, so 2 meters off 70 there exactly. Distance walked, absolutely nothing. And our total score was 7,944 awareness points, which gives, sorry, action points. I don't know why I keep calling it awareness points, they're called action points. And that gets us to a gold medal. So overall, not a bad run that. In terms of maintaining speed, all looking good again. Yeah, not too bad in the ICE. Certainly a train that I've got a good feeling to, and one that I've very much enjoyed driving. So yeah, that brings us to the end of that. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Do leave a like if you have done. Do also subscribe as well if you haven't done so already. Thank you again for the amount of support you've shown me recently. And I'll be back again for another Train Sim World video. Next time will be Aachen turnaround, which will be by far the longest of all the Schnellfahrstrecke routes. And so, tune in tomorrow, see how that goes. You guys take care, have a good one, and I'll see you in the future. Bye bye.